There is an insect that performs brain surgery. Not metaphorically. Not approximately. With surgical precision, it injects venom into a specific cluster of neurons inside a living creature's brain, disabling exactly one behavior while leaving everything else intact. The creature remains alive, aware, and completely unable to save itself. The emerald jewel wasp is roughly the size of a paperclip. It glitters like a gemstone, iridescent green and violet, catching the light of the tropical forest floor where it hunts. It looks almost too beautiful to be dangerous. That is a mistake many cockroaches have made. The wasp's prey of choice is the American cockroach, a creature 3 times its own size. By any conventional logic, the cockroach should win this encounter. It is larger, faster, and built for survival. Its legs can carry it to full sprint in milliseconds. It has been outrunning predators for 300 million years. The wasp does not fight the cockroach. It reprograms it. The attack begins with a first sting to the thorax, a rapid, precise injection that temporarily paralyzes the cockroach's front legs. This lasts only a matter of seconds, just long enough to create a window. A window the wasp uses to attempt something extraordinary. It drives its stinger directly into the cockroach's brain. The target is a region called the sub-esophageal ganglion, a small cluster of neurons responsible for initiating escape behavior. This is not random. The wasp is not simply stabbing. It is navigating neuroanatomy. Studies have shown that if the wasp misses this region, if the venom lands even slightly off target, the procedure fails. The cockroach recovers and flees. But when the sting lands correctly, something remarkable happens. The cockroach does not die. It does not become paralyzed in the traditional sense. It simply stops wanting to escape. Scientists call this a hypnotic state. The cockroach can still walk if physically pushed. It can still respond to external stimulation. Its legs work. Its body functions. But the internal signal that says run, the ancient, hardwired impulse that has kept this species alive since before the dinosaurs, has been switched off. The cockroach grooms itself calmly. It waits. The wasp, unhurried now, chews off a portion of one antenna. This is not random aggression. The wasp drinks the hemolymph, the cockroach's blood, replenishing energy spent in the hunt. Then it uses the shortened antenna as a leash, gripping it gently and walking. The cockroach follows. This is perhaps the most unsettling image in all of nature, a small, glittering wasp leading a docile cockroach across the forest floor toward a burrow it has prepared in advance. The cockroach is not being dragged. It is not restrained. It is simply following. Compliantly. A creature with every physical means to flee, choosing, or rather, unable not to choose, to walk into its own fate. Inside the burrow, the wasp lays a single egg on the cockroach's leg. Then it seals the entrance with pebbles and leaves. From outside, there is nothing to see. Inside, everything is still. The egg hatches in 2 to 3 days. The larva that emerges is small, pale, and immediately purposeful. It chews a small hole into the cockroach's abdomen and begins to feed, but not recklessly. The larva consumes hemolymph first, the fluids and non-essential tissues, carefully avoiding the organs that keep the cockroach alive. There is intelligence in this sequence. The cockroach must remain living. A dead cockroach would rot. Bacteria would take over. The food supply would spoil. So the larva preserves its host. It eats around the edges of life for days, keeping the cockroach in a state of horrifying viability. Eventually, when the larva is large enough, it moves inward. It consumes the vital organs in a sequence that maintains life as long as possible, finishing last with the structures that, once gone, finally allow death to arrive. The entire feeding process takes roughly 8 days. Then the larva pupates inside the hollowed shell of the cockroach's body. It spins a cocoon. It transforms. And after several weeks, a new emerald jewel wasp chews its way out into the light, fully formed, iridescent, already preparing for a hunt of its own. What makes this animal so singular is not just the behavior, it is the mechanism behind it. Researchers who have analyzed the wasp's venom found something surprising. The compounds it injects are not poisons in the conventional sense. They are neurotransmitter mimics, molecules that resemble GABA and taurine, chemicals the brain itself uses to regulate neural activity. The wasp is not burning circuits. It is speaking the brain's own language. It is using the cockroach's neurology against itself, turning down the gain on one very specific signal while leaving the rest of the system operational. This level of biochemical specificity did not evolve overnight. It represents millions of years of pressure, refinement, and failure, countless generations in which wasps that stung incorrectly lost their larvae, and only those with the most precise delivery passed their genes forward. What we see today is the result of an unimaginably long conversation between predator and prey, written in the language of evolution. Researchers studying the venom are paying close attention. The molecules involved in suppressing escape behavior share structural similarities with compounds implicated in certain neurological conditions. There is genuine scientific interest in what the wasp has discovered about the brain, not through research, but through iteration across geological time. The emerald jewel wasp is found across tropical Africa, South and Southeast Asia, and the Pacific Islands. It lives quietly, hunts alone, and asks nothing of the ecosystem except the presence of large cockroaches and soft soil for its burrows. It has been doing this, in essentially the same form, for tens of millions of years. There are creatures that kill. There are creatures that paralyze. There are creatures that lay eggs in living hosts. The jewel wasp does something rarer, it controls. It does not destroy the cockroach's mind. It edits it. Removes one page from the instruction manual and leaves everything else intact. And here is the fact that reframes all of it: the cockroach, after being stung, spends its final days engaged in something that looks remarkably like normal life. It grooms. It rests. It does not appear to be in distress. The horror belongs entirely to the observer. The cockroach, robbed of the one instinct that might have saved it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe for more incredible facts.